Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Self Care Sunday. I'm very excited about today. As you guys know, I love to find out ways about relaxing. It's very important for us to be able to relax, take care of our mental health. And so this is one of my favorite days because it's more of a chill day. And I'm excited to bring you our next speaker. But first, I want to introduce who I am. I want to welcome everyone to the International Women of Blockchain event. This is, I am Olayinka Odenaran. I am the founder of Black Women Blockchain Council. I'm also the creator of IWB, the International Women of Blockchain. But I could not have done this without the wonderful women who have graced our stages, as well as my team who are part of my committee. I just want to thank everyone for hanging in there and joining us for all of 20 days. Wow, 20 days. We still got 11 more days to go, and I'm really excited. It's been fantastic being able to showcase the various women in this space, and also getting a chance for us to tap into the different type of necessary discussions that are needed in this space and get experiences that we've been experiencing throughout this event. Hopefully you've been tapping in, you've been enjoying yourself, and you're also able to take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to you in our Discord, as well as the fact that, you get to talk to a lot of the speakers, get to reach out to them, get more insight into what they're doing, what they're building, and also see if they're looking for partnership and collaborations. There's also job opportunities out there. So I want you guys to tap in and get excited about this community and this new world that we are building, where it's all about community, it's all about collaboration, it's all about all of us getting involved and getting and being able to build this blockchain ecosystem. So everyone is welcome, everyone is necessary, and everyone is needed. With that said, Self-Care Sunday, man, my favorite day. For real, like today has been really one of those packed days. I've gone grocery shopping to 2 different stores and done a lot, and it's only, 10 o'clock? So I've been able to make my morning very productive. But at the same time, I realized that, when doing so many things during the week, oftentimes we don't get a chance to just, keep quiet and think, right? And get a chance to just realign ourselves with, our purpose and our mission and our goals and who we are as an individual, especially when we're dealing with this blockchain ecosystem that tends to move in dog years. And every second and every minute counts. And some of us lose sleep, which is not a good thing when it comes to our mental health. So it's important for us to sit still and breathe. And so I'm excited for our next speaker, Rissi, who's going to come up and talk to us about how to maintain that self-centered aspect that we're trying to create, and also a good mental health. So Rissi, come on up. Good morning.
Morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
2 stores and it's just 10 o'clock. Wow.
Yes. Yes. No, I made it a purpose to be very productive because oftentimes during this month of March, running the live stream, I don't get to do anything but prepare my daughter for school and then jump on the live screen, right? And a lot of chores that I need to do have been left to the wayside. So this morning I was like, I'm going to be productive because I know I'm going to get a chance to really relax later.
But this is also the case study. You are the case study of today's session right here because we wear all these different capes.
Yes.
And we leave ourselves last. So I'm so excited to use just what you shared to as a window into our busy lives, and yet, like you said, you were intentional about being productive. So you give me the canvas to begin the paint.
Awesome. Awesome. I'll leave you to it and let you go ahead and continue.
So yes, my name is Rissi Carey, and I'm a health and wellness coach consultant and also an emotional detox specialist. And today is the 20th day. I mean, the stuff that has been packed into these events and the way it has benefited me. I believe the first Sunday we had a doctor talk about stresses and the science behind what it means to feel stressed out and the things that we need to do. And that was amazing. And, it's like a build up. And second Sunday, the yoga and the different mechanics of what that does for us. And today is the third Sunday. Inka said we have 11 more days to go. And what is interesting is the fact that where I am in New York, today is the first day of spring. There is a shift that is supposed to happen, right? Wherever you are in the world, I believe there are moments when we all learn to shift. And as I've been following and learning, I didn't even know that what I do is even part of this space. Because this space, truth be told, self-disclosure intimidates me. So when Yinka asked me, to also present, I was like, oh, wow, there is a place for me here. But as I was thinking about the processes, I was like, wow, this is fast-paced. And those of you pioneering and being creative, honestly, actually need that self-care. You need that time out. You need to be able to retreat so that you can replenish. And I'm talking about the creative side of you. I'm talking about that right brain where your imagination and the creativity really flourishes. So yes, we wear several superwoman cape, and if we are not careful, it can smother us. And we need to be aware of things that we cannot control and the uncertainties. So we are talking about 2 years of COVID, these exciting pieces of blockchain and all the wonderful things that this space has done for us. And we'll keep going and creating the space for leaders and for women of color in their innovation and in the way we express ourselves. But there can be uncertainty too, because yes, this space is so fast-paced. A blink of an eye can be a game changer in all kinds of ways. And I realized that, as Inka said, you can lose sleep. Because what if the phone is not right by you so that you see what has changed? You see, what is being dropped, and so that, that what we call FOMO, the fear of missing out. But all of this can affect our mental health. So I hope today's share will give us a roadmap in reference to how to unplug so that we can detox and replenish and then show up even in the space with more to give. So yes, I know my life is busy, yours is busy. And we worry about how we show up and the things that we are supposed to do. We are weary and sometimes worn down. We are still defrosting. We are the defrost mode from COVID and the shelter in place and having the kids. You have the kids at home, homeschooling or doing Zoom classes, whilst this blockchain is also exploding. You have done it all. Some of the kids have gone back to school. You drop them off, you come back, you do what you have to do, juggling all these things. And in Yinka's case, 20 days of live streaming. Whilst life goes on, meals have to be prepared. The kid has to, get their needs met and all these different things. Family needs us, the job needs us, our phone, the different trips, friends, and all these things happen. But I want us to stop for a moment so that we can get hold of what really, truly matters in life. So that we will not end up grudgingly showing up because we are depleted with physical illnesses. Because let me tell you, when you don't get sleep, it can lead to anxiety and it can lead to depression. And all kinds of different things that happen to us in the midst of doing life like this. The lack of communication, because now we feel tired and depleted and isolated, and worst of all, when we can't meet the other obligations, then we feel guilty. So talking about all of these things that we can't, there are things we can't control, but there are things that we can control. So in all the capes that you wear, I'm inviting you to get a red cape for yourself. And the red I'm talking about is an acronym for relaxation, eliminating stresses, and then detoxing the emotional toxins. So get yourself that red cape. And we will go into, the acronym, what it means to get still and the benefits of getting still, and even how to eliminate the stresses and detoxing those emotional toxins. But self-care is also getting help. We are superwomen. We are heroes. And we want to do it all. We want to do it ourselves. But do you know that having that babysitter, asking that friend for help, does not make you a good, less of a good mother or less of somebody who is capable. Self-care is acknowledging places that you can outsource for others to do, so that you can, as a creator, you can dedicate the time to really dig in and do what you do best. But most of the time, even the things that don't enhance our creativity, we try to do them, and we diminish the quality we can give to that creative aspect of us. So I'm just touching on all these things so that we become aware of areas where we can solicit self-care. And I hope that in these 3 segments, and however we are going forward, that we would actually put a self-care Sunday on our calendar and maybe dedicate, maybe even if you think you don't have the time, 30 minutes or an hour each Sunday, and see how it goes. And the beauty of this conversation is that when you begin to form that habit, which I hope this 1 month of coming together and learning from each other and having this healthy exchange is already giving you that building blocks and foundation. But there are things that we can do. Like I said earlier, the red, having your own red cape, relaxing, eliminating, and detoxing. But also, sleep is something that is our sleep hygiene is very, very invigorating and rehabilitative. So I'm going to get into our sleep hygiene for a few minutes. Particularly people in this space where you're always creating, the phone is ding, ding, ding. You are answering, you are on Discord, you are 24/7, I must say. But without sleep, without good sleep, some of us are getting partial sleep, but I'm talking about good sleep. Without good sleep, you are compromising your well-being, your creativity, and all the things that when you show up, you bring to the table. How does that happen? It happens when some of us have rooms for our kids, and yet the phone, we sleep with our phone. It's right there, and every notification we want to look at it. I actually saw myself, even though I'm not really so active in this space, but I found myself maybe trying to go into deep sleep, and when the phone is by me, once the notification hits, it does something to my brain. Even though I'm not trying to pick up the phone, I just my brain jolts up awake. So I can't even imagine for those of you who, when the notification happens, there is that edge because something is happening, and yes, that fear of missing out, and the fact that you got to get it and you're on the go, 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 go. And so let's delve a bit into your sleep hygiene. Yes, these things are happening at fast pace. You are running on quote unquote borrowed time and, trying to squeeze as much in as possible. But we can learn to improve your sleep. We can learn to take a block of time and even take a break from the device as you set that mindful pace and space for yourself. And some of you, because of the fast pace and because you are constantly on the device, you don't realize how much it has compromised being quiet, being able to be still, and being able to just shut down and, replenish. And one way of doing this is, let's say if it's about 2 hours before you prepare yourself to sleep, these blue light blocking glasses will come in handy, because when you put it on, as you navigate the space, you are signaling your brain that you are about to unwind, and you are signaling the melatonin production that it needs to do its thing. If you don't use that type of glasses to block that blue light, your brain is awake and active. So even though you shut the device down and a part of you really is tired and you want to fall asleep, the brain is like, still awake. But that glasses, the blue light blocking glasses, will signal that melatonin so that the production will happen. And then within that 2 hours, your body will begin to really recline and get into where it's supposed to get to. So what I'm trying to say here is you can induce sleep. This is within your control. So that when the melatonin is flowing and you fall asleep, then your circadian rhythm can really, really begin to flow. And then in that flow, the restoration and the repair that your brain, that creative part of you, your body, and all the different parts of you, the things that is supposed to happen in sleep, healing happens in sleep, so that restoration will happen. But you got to have that intention. You got to really, really take control of that space by putting in these actionable steps as much as you can. And another way of reinvigorating yourself is just to slow down. And I call that the stop method. So let's say 30 minutes before you really, really hit the bed, if you have already used that glasses to, boost that melatonin and the production of it, I call this the stop method. And the S is slow down, meaning, you are unwinding. So you pace, you change the pace, signaling to yourself and your brain that, this is, winding down to relaxation. And then begin to take deep breaths. Breathe deeply, through your diaphragm. And then release slowly. And as you can do this with, maybe the rain sound, soft music. Some people like waterfall, whatever brings you to that space. Some people would even do the breathing whilst maybe they are trying to read at the same time to, unwind. That is good if, that works for you. But in that space of slowing down and relaxing and releasing, so S is slowing down, and then T is taking the deep breath, and then the P is pause. And process maybe how your day went. If there is a particular feeling coming up, in that place of pausing, just notice that feeling. So think about what you're thinking about. Because if you don't process it, some things keep us awake, because we didn't process it. So deal with what you are thinking about, bring it to the forefront, give it its name and its due process. And for some of us, we can even use this time of pausing and processing for what I call brain dumping, meaning the thing is in your head. So why don't you grab your journal or a piece of paper or whatever, writing, and just jot it. Maybe these are your to-do list for the next day. Take it out of that, space in your mind and put it on paper so that it's dumped there. And then continue the breathing in and out. And I believe so strongly, once the paper is dealt with, and melatonin is already being actively produced, and you hit the bed whilst you are breathing, and you've created that atmosphere for sleep, you would not even remember. You will fall into that deep sleep, and that is how you rejuvenate. That is how you work through you getting that sleep, that quality sleep. We all sleep. I sometimes I'm in this space where I sleep for 3 hours. That is not good sleep. But I'm talking about that deep, deep REM sleep. Sleep that puts you into that place of rest. And let me tell you why it is important for creatives like you. That level of sleep increases quality sleep. It reduces that frequent wakefulness, and it decreases the struggle of trying to fall asleep. When you do this preparation, particularly the blue light blocking glasses, will increase your total sleep time. And when you are that much replenished, you'll put in a good work performance. Your energy will be so increased. You also increase processing speed, and you increase your working memory. For those of you who are creatives, these are important things to undergird you. These are important ways for you to be in what we now all now know as flow. These are things you need to do to give you clarity in how you show up, in how you do time, in that restful state, attending to the kid, doing that grocery, running around. Then you have the energy to be able to juggle all these things and be the superwoman that you are, but yet you are not compromising yourself. Remember, when we are on board on a flight, they tell us to put the oxygen mask on you first. And this is a way for you to put that oxygen mask on you. And so it is not going to happen. You have to form the habit, and it's not going to happen in one day. Be kind and gentle to yourself and be patient as you learn to do these things. But you can also take it to another level. Like I said, babysitter is also self-care. Checking out and having that moment for yourself, blocking that time for you, is also self-care. Also use aromatherapy to induce stillness and quietness and all these different wonderful things. I use an ultrasonic aromatherapy diffuser, which has a rotating light mode. It's simple, it's peaceful, and it's colorful bliss. An essential oil like lavender, and a combination. It could be chamomile and lavender, or other combinations that you can begin to infuse. Set that, spa, the bathroom, your bubble bath, or, however you do your thing, and have that music. Have the light dim so that the infuses light, there's psychology of light as well. And these lights are intentionally done in a way that they come up and they begin to help you unwind as well. Of course, you will not be able to do this every day. So if it's once a week, or whenever you feel that tension build up, that you are like, I'm going to use this 30 minutes with the music that I love, so that you can pull away and replenish. It's also a good thing to do. And hey, we can take it to the next level, where once in a while, as a creative, you can book that spa session, which I'm also sure that your body will thank you for. But one thing during that sleep time is that try as much as possible to recapture your sanity. Because even as I'm here, messages are dumping on my device. So maybe fast the device, meaning during that sleep time, have it in a separate place. And I'm sure some of you are holding on to dear life. Like, what are you saying? Because we do that with food. You know, some of us would have our dinner at 6 p.m. and then will not put anything in till the next 6 a.m. or whatever. And then we have that window of 12 hours. I feel like we need to learn how to do the device like that. And some of you are like, 12 hours? Are you kidding me? Maybe 5 hours, maybe 7 hours, maybe, 4 hours. You start where you are. Meet yourself where you are, because you want it to be a smart goal, right? Very realistic and, attainable, so that you can follow through with it. So yeah, that is part of the sleep routine. But what I want to actually elaborate here is there are benefits of even practicing being quiet, stillness. And most of us in this space don't get quiet enough. You don't have the luxury. Your brain doesn't shut down. You don't have the luxury of attuning into your body and just being peaceful. Being peaceful in your own skin without thinking about the next thing or the next, activity, DeFi and all these different things on blockchain and all the things that you need to create. Get quiet. And it is countercultural to our fast pace, always the goal society that we live in, where multitasking is the norm and we have a long to-do list. And the standard and every second of the day is scheduled with an activity that needs to be done. But even for you, the activity is you engaging on Discord and in these metaverse spaces and all these places. It is a lot. But the power of practicing stillness on a regular basis its benefits is incredible. Some of us, because of the fast pace of this life we live and lack of sleep and all that, you're going through, moments of anxiety, and you push it back so that you can keep on creating. But stillness will help you manage stress. Being in stillness reduces the stress response in your system. The sympathetic nervous system that is always in fight, flight, or flee. When you do that deep breathing that I introduced earlier, remember the red cape, the relaxation piece, you get still. And when you started breathing, and even this in a very short amount of time, you are telling the sympathetic nervous system that is trying to let the amygdala, our alarm response space, to just learn to rest, so that your body begins to relax. And whilst you are breathing in and releasing these stresses, you'll be surprised at what the practice does for your body. Because once you are scanning your body, finding where the tension is in your body, and I think we'll do a little bit so that you would learn, how to do it. And as you breathe in and out, and as you bring these pieces of the thing that you are trying to process, remember we are eliminating the stresses. So when you are doing the stop method and you are observing what you are thinking about, it helps you gives you the ability to let things go more easily. And the key to being in stillness is not to engage with any thoughts that come in your mind. It is a practice of letting go of the thoughts. And once you learn, and believe you me, people like you, it's going to be very difficult. So, but if it's in increments of 30 seconds, 10 seconds, it's like a muscle. You begin to build it, and you will be able to learn how to be looking at the tabs in your brain and not do anything with it. Usually, we are engaging with it and all that, but you'll be able to look at it without dealing. Another part is also be able to hear your own intuition in that quiet place, your body. There's something that happens, that brain, mind, body connection happens. And you'll be able to feel. You would be able to learn to silence the voices. And then you can move easily to tap into your intuition and to know what is true for you. to know whether to jump into that next thing, that crypto that has been released, and all the different things that you are trying to create. Your intuition will give you the clarity you need. And what stillness also does for you, it anchors you into the present moment. Because much of our anxiety and stress is felt because they are related to future events, the things that needs to get done, the plans we have to finalize, and all these different things, including the space you would navigate. But stillness anchors you into the present moment so you can deal with what is rather here and now. And as you learn to be still, it increases your listening skills. Meaning you are able, when somebody's talking to you and you're just taking those deep breaths, you are not waiting for the answer you want to give, but you are really, really listening to them so that your response will be more effective. And then there is richer and more rewarding relationships. Stillness also brings you clarity. Even though you are quieting down, when something is in that processing and you are stepping back to process it, you are able, particularly if that thing is the thing you brought to the table, you are able to lean deeply into it, and then before you know it, there is clarity as you take that step back. And we already talked about sleep. It improves your sleep. And as you breathe in and out, like I said, that 30 minutes of unwinding or even the 10 minutes of unwinding, you'll be able to see the benefits of being still. It also improves your overall health, because if you are managing stress and stillness is helping you to get your heart rate and your breathing in sync and in rhythm, you'll be surprised at how it improves blood pressure, lowers, improves your immune system, increases your serotonin levels, and it has a positive impact on your health. And that is why it is important to be able to be still. But a good part, which I know you all love, is your creativity increases. So being in stillness pulls you out of your left brain and allows your right brain to be more activated, that fun part of you. So that creative center increases in activity, and that area begins to open up for, innovation, perspective, and you'll be surprised at how much you grow that. And most of you, that's what you want, but it's going to take you getting still to have that quality, creativity, and that increase. Another part of stillness, it also increases your ability to handle adversity. Life happens. COVID happened to all of us. But I have learned in my practice of stillness, I'm able to manage those rocky emotions much better. When I take that time to breathe in and out and to release and to stop, slow down, observe and process, it has helped me a lot. And so it can help you respond to life differently. I've gone through some deep losses. I'm talking about loss of loved ones, before the pandemic and then within the pandemic. But stillness pulled me out of it, literally. Stillness also increases your self-awareness. You notice you better because you're interacting with you. Remember, when you get quiet, you are getting reintroduced into you. You take ownership of your role, and you do not just be reactive. You not just let things happen to you, but you are in that space where the space is created for you. It's you, yourself, and I. And things that are happening in your life, you have much more control. So that's increased self-awareness, make you catch the emotion, deal with it before it overwhelms you and runs you over. And stillness connects you to your higher power, whatever that is for you. For me, it actually connects me to prayer, and it grounds me. So these are the things that you can do, and these are the practices that hopefully you would incorporate. But even if you start with the stop method, which can take a minute, for some of you who this is so new to you, you can start with a stop. You slow down, you take the breath, and you increase the breath, you observe what is happening, and then you pause. That is if you are engaging with other people, and then you will be able to process later. This will take you a minute. So imagine the 1 minute sessions that you can have within your day, where you need to just stop for a moment, quickly reset, and maybe go back into the space and give yourself time to reset over and over again. So I hope this is beneficial, and I hope that at least you will put some of these into practice. So yes, the red cape is for you to relax by getting still, and that is what I dealt with, and then eliminating the stresses by using the stop method, and then detoxing the emotional toxins, so that when you are in the stillness or whatever you are doing, you are able to manage those emotions. Not only are you able to manage the emotions, but you are in control. So these are the things that we can control. So my hope for you is that this makes sense. It is simple enough and practical enough for you to be able to find that time and space for you, because you bring your entire self into this creative space. So the more you restore, you replenish, and you fill that cup, the more you will show up in that strong creative self, and the more someone like me will benefit. So give yourself what you need. And what I have also noticed is that when we are hungry, we eat. When we are thirsty, we drink. When we need to, when we feel depressed for peeing or pooping, we do that. But we don't handle our emotions the same way. Sometimes we even treat our cars, our clothes better than we treat our emotions. But believe you me, creating that serenity from the inside out will actually benefit your overall well-being. So that is, the conclusion of this segment. And I'm sure, there'll be questions and remarks and all kinds of stuff. So yeah. I think you're muted.
Of course, I'm muted. No, I was saying, wow. So I was jotting down a couple of things that you mentioned. Sleep is very important. And like you mentioned, we're so used to gadgets. Oh my God, we're so used to gadgets. And as you were talking, I found myself that I'm trying to tweet, I'm trying to, market and do it all, right? But then I'm listening to you saying that we need to move away from the gadget, and it made so much sense. I felt guilty right there. Um, and in the middle of the night, I have found myself, waking up and not being able to sleep either, because I'm thinking about so many different things. And my go-to is my phone, and I grab it, and I just want to find a little quiet space and like just scroll through the things that I shouldn't be scrolling through. Um, but now, I know that that's not a healthy habit.
Right.
And we're all so used to it. And the more and more we get involved in technology, the more and more we're pulled to those unhealthy habits. So I love the fact that you said, in order for us to have a better sleeping pattern, we need to let go of those gadgets
But that
and
is also your comfort zone, right? That is your comfort zone.
yeah.
It.
It is, but it shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be. I'm old enough to remember days without cell phone, right? And we used to function, right, without these cell phones. And now it's like it's our life. Like we don't believe that we can function without being connected, consistently connected. And we need to start getting back to that. But I really wanted to hone in on a few things that you mentioned about stillness, because those were powerful words. So stillness improves creativity, which a lot of us in this space do need, right? We seek it, we need it, and it's how we're building this space. Stillness allows us to be able to handle adversities. And that is so true, because as you were saying that, I was thinking, when COVID hit, it was March 12th that they basically told everybody that, on a, I guess in the US, right?
Mm-hmm.
That, we all should start working from home, right? And at that point, there were so many different reactions to that. Some people couldn't handle it, and others were like, okay, cool, this is my time to reevaluate, reassess things. And so some of us, like myself included, use the opportunity to just be still and try to figure out like what's next, right? Is this, and also try to figure out whether this was life, right, from now on, or whether this is just something that's temporarily. So you're right, stillness does allow us to be able to handle adversities, because having us not worry about the day-to-day bustle of going from home to work and that long traffic, that we may encounter, allowed us to have more of our time back, and allowed us to, at least in the beginning, recenter ourselves in being still and trying to just recollect ourselves. So I love that. Other stuff that you mentioned, stillness increased self-awareness, which is so important.
Yep.
I'm one of those individuals that I like quiet. Like I'm when things are loud and consistently busy, it's kind of chaotic in my mind. So like I seek out quiet places, and it does allow me to reflect on a lot of stuff. And so I strongly agree with that. It also connects us to higher power, and that's true, right? Because what, like you mentioned, whatever religious or belief that you may have, oftentimes when you need to realign yourself with that higher power, you go to a quiet place, right? And it's that quiet place that it's allowing you to recenter and regain that clarity. So it's so true. Stillness anchors us to be present. So true. So
Yes.
true.
Particularly when we are faking it, the kids know.
Yes.
When we are dismissive, they feel it. Let me tell you, self-disclosure. I have a 27-year-old, and guess what? Mine sins, mine sins in parenting. I've been, this is the time that we are processing that. And
Mhm.
I wish I knew all this. I wish I knew how to center myself.
Mm.
I wish somebody gave me these tools, but I didn't have that. So whatever you are feeling, right, and sensing, you are picking them from school and you are telling them to rush and get into the car so that you can, and my daughter is an empath, very sensitive.
Mm.
So all these things had an impact on her well-being, because she knows you have this window. She's playing her basketball. She gets in the car. You're asking her, how did your day go? Even the tone by which you ask, right, makes her think, she's already in her world. Why should I bog her down with the racism I experienced in school? How these girls treated me? So it has an adverse effect. And
Mhm.
I wish somebody had alerted me, or maybe I stumbled upon something like this. So please, ladies, and I believe some gentlemen are also, participating. Let's take these tools, because not only are they life-giving to us, but our family. What is the cost of the go, 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 and be in that hyper state
Mm.
where your child, instead of coming to you with a problem, looks at you and it's like, you know what? She's in her world. I gotta handle this by myself. So
Mm.
there are really consequences if we don't slow down and really feel centered.
Mm. So true. So true. Um, and then the last one that you have is stillness also brings clarity. And that's deep within itself right there. I mean, all of what you said was so powerful. Um, you know, we we don't get a lot of chances to self-reflect on how we navigate and how we maneuver through this space. As you mentioned, and everybody is aware that this whole space it travels so fast that if one steps out just to relax, um, or separate themselves from the high speed of the space, then you kind of feel like you're left behind. But it's important. It's important for all of us to take that time to separate from the space and reevaluate a few things. Because I think by doing that, we'll also, like you mentioned, get clarity. And we may be questioning some of the things that we're doing in this space and how we're building it, which is very important because we don't want to regurgitate what was created prior, right? We want to create something based off of the knowledge and the insights that we gain from prior, but not copycat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Particularly, you are trailblazers. So why don't you enter into your space so that you come into this space with purity and
Mm,
clarity so that you can bring that original intention?
mm,
And like you said, yeah, there are blueprints, but that is not where you want this to go. So that what you offer, actually, you are tuning in. I'm going to go there with the higher power. There is an original intent for this space.
mm,
People are using opioids to get to this state of mind, but
mm,
we can bring stillness. Most creatives use opioids. I mean, it's nothing new. We all know that. Most creatives use psychedelics, but
mm,
you can be still. Actually, um, a psychiatrist equated stillness with Prozac. Can you imagine?
wow. Okay.
And the man who wrote Del Cook, the guy who wrote The Body Keeps the Score, right? He said he had tried medication for his veterans from what do you call it, this war,
Iraq,
no, the old one in the 80s,
Gulf.
Cambodia, what do you call it, Saigon,
Oh,
um
sorry. Oh,
yes, these veterans, whenever he's engaging with them, they are hyper. They can hear gunshots. PTSD was just too much. And
mm,
this man was, as a psychiatrist, he was wondering what to do to get them to be quiet for a second. We're talking about a second.
mm,
When this man discovered mindfulness and started introducing that to them, slowly, 30 seconds, 1 minute, their body began to crave the stillness. Can you
mm,
imagine? Their body craved stillness. And when they entered that space, they began to learn how to be in the present moment and calm down. He said he even saw a shift in their gaze, because you know how our eyes is the window to our soul.
mhm,
The man saw these people getting relaxed.
mm,
So we are talking about psychiatrists whose role in this space called life is medicating people and restructuring the brain with medication. They are telling us that getting quiet is beneficial.
mm.
So you creatives, you got to run with this, because my life depends on you. When I listen to that segment where somebody shared, and I'm so grateful. When I listened to the segment when somebody shared how when you buy your crypto and you don't put it in the hot wallet, you leave it on the counter. I was like, that's me. let me let So I need you. I mean, I was in a room the other time with somebody who is a voice for the space. I heard what do you call the board ape dropped, some coins or something, and this person said, oh, I got my coins, go get your coins. Do you know other people in the room counted the person and said, oh, what you got is fake? I was like, oh my goodness, that means a novice like me, how would I be able to learn? But I need people like you to be centered, so that when I follow your directions, I know that I'm getting the right thing. So I'm doing this for me as well. I'm helping you help me. So yeah, I am just so grateful that I can bring this piece here so that you become self-aware and run with it.
Yeah, I'm loving the fact that you're able to bring this. Um, so I guess one thing that I have a question with is what can people do to just be still? Like, a lot of people go for meditation, some people do yoga, and we have, the self-care Sundays that dealt with that. But in your words, like what would your suggestions be to just exercise being still?
The short method is the stop method that I mentioned earlier. So the stop is the acronym to S, literally slow down. So
Mm.
let's say you are in the middle of the creative piece and something is frustrating you. Instead of pushing yourself to finish what that thing is, move away from the system for a
Mm.
moment. Take that deep breath. You can pace back and forth whilst you're breathing, and
Mm.
then your body will begin to relax. So observe, maybe take whatever that thing that was frustrating you into that moment and say, why is this acting this way? And you are not problem solving, but you want to bring it to the forefront that this is what is frustrating me.
Mhm.
If you have the time to process what it is, process. If you don't have the time, you can pause and pace back and forth whilst you breathe, and then maybe go back to it. And then maybe later in the night when you are doing the final ritual, you can brain dump, but maybe writing about it and stuff like that. And you see yourself shifting. And I'm talking about just a minute.
Mm.
Maybe even coming on here, right? And maybe there are jitters, there are butterflies in your stomach, and all these different things that makes us anxious. Take that minute. It takes a minute to slow down. And the bigger version of that is then maybe you increase the breathing to 3 minutes to 5 minutes. You add the music. You are really unwinding. But the short version of the stop method is just that. And you find your own rhythm, because when your breath and your heart rate get in sync, your body will begin to relax.
Mm.
And when you are breathing and you are breathing properly, your brain cannot hijack the process.
Mm. Okay. Wow. All right. Yeah. I'm taking all that in and I'm processing. I'm also trying to recall times where I've been stressed and I've been just frustrated with certain things that's not working out the way that it is. And I learned to just let it go, step away, and then, come back to it some other time. And that was my form of slowing down, right? Slowing down and being still in a sense that I'm not consistently sitting there and trying to force things to happen. I'm just removing myself and saying I'm letting it, you know, go at this point. So that has been able to help me bring clarity and finish certain projects and stuff. So I love that. I love that. Is there, I know you mentioned aromatherapy, and you said lavender. Is there other essential oils that people should consider?
Absolutely. Lavender can go with chamomile for relaxation,
Mm.
even something like mint. Let's say you want that creative juices to just flow, a bergamot and mint, or orange and lavender. You can, but the beauty of aromatherapy is that you can experiment. But if you are winding down, lavender is like the baseline, chamomile is also good, and even tea. I will be sipping my chamomile tea whilst my lavender is brewing, and I'm watching the lights. And there's psychology of light where your brain sees the different shades of light from your infuser. This is what my infuser looks like.
Okay.
See? So it has all these, different shades of light that comes on automatically. And I'm getting the steam and all that. And it does something to the brain. No,
Mm.
I'm talking about working with cancer patients. And when you are diagnosed with something heavy like that, it
Mhm.
induces fear.
Mhm.
I've had wellness centers refer patients to me because the oncologist knows that if they don't get still, you see the key word right there?
Mhm.
If they don't get quiet in their body and in their mind, the chemotherapy is not working
Mm.
because there's too much going on in their body. And I've been able to get patients quiet using these modalities where maybe chemo matters were off the charts, and we were able to bring it down because everything is based on your body's response.
Mm.
It's very crucial. And some of us have chronic pain. And if you begin to do these things, and there is a way to even, and we're going to practice a little bit of stillness, if you don't mind, we'll
Yes,
just go.
please, please,
Yeah.
yes.
So I'm going to teach you how to scan your body. And I even teach people, we always talk about love and light. If there is a pain in a part of your body, send that love and light whilst you are scanning that space and breathing into that space, and it changes things. I mean, quantum physics says we are particles, and we can rearrange these things as we shift in how we are thinking and as we create the atmosphere. So yeah, this can be done, and the beauty of it is that you can start doing it for 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, and warm up, just like when we do yoga, when we do our physical workouts, right? You're
Mm.
building muscles, and you can build emotional muscles. And it's incredible how this space is not explored enough, and yet it is the mother and the foundation of all things, you know?
Mm.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, wow. Well, I'm glad to have you here today to walk us through and give us more insight about, something that should be second nature to us, right? I mean, a lot of people assume that, we're getting enough stillness when we sleep. So what do you say to that?
If you are really having a good night's sleep,
Mm,
that is why inducing the sleep and creating the space, first of all, that place should not be the place where your devices are all over, because the trigger from your brain alone will not make you. I did it last week and I was like, wow. And I'm not like you people with all these creative juices flowing, but the fact that, and even being here, do you know the number of messages I've gotten from LinkedIn?
mm, mm,
So nothing shuts off, right?
yeah,
And so the
yeah.
device, you have to create that separation. I'm sure most of you will go through separation anxiety, but you owe it to yourself to put that distance between you and the device. Take that last 30 minutes and put the device really where you don't even see it or look at it,
Mm,
and create that ritual of unwinding. If you need to do that brain dump, get whatever you have to get out of your mind into the paper, because guess what, if you don't ritually get it on paper, it's in your unconscious mind. You are tossing and turning because it's running itself,
mm,
right? But when you put it on paper and you begin to release these things and you begin to relax, believe you me, sleep will begin to surface, and it will surface in a meaningful way because you have created a space for sleep
mm.
and you are being intentional about sleep. So let's try and do a little bit of the stillness, working our body through, what is needed to get us to that space so that, we get there. So I'm going to put on a little nature, relaxing, sound as a backdrop, and then we can start. And you can use your own, maybe waterfall, rain, how people like different sounds. I like the chirping of the bird, whatever it is that brings you to that place. Just
Okay.
let's give it a little go and see how it goes. So let's just start taking a deep breath. And when I say take a deep breath, we're talking about your navel. Hold your belly button, your navel, so that when you breathe in, it's pressing towards your spine. And release slowly as if you have a straw in your mouth and you are whistling through the straw. Keep at it for a few minutes, seconds, so that you build that rhythm, and let the rhythm just take you where it takes you. Make sure you're engaging all your senses. Breathe in and out. Inhale deeply and exhale slowly. And as the breathing becomes natural, keep going. Some of you are struggling. I can feel it. Struggling because just getting yourself quiet is so hard, but you keep at it and you begin to get there. So as you settle and relax your shoulders and begin to feel your body, you can begin to scan your body from the feet up. So what's going on? Where is the tension? Where are the stress points within your feet? Make sure you are grounded. Your calves, part of your body. We are people of energy. What are you sensing? What are you feeling? And you're still breathing in and out. And once the breathing becomes rhythmic, you can even give it a name. You breathe in peace and exhale the stresses. And as you check in with your body, we hold stress mostly in our gut. That's where we get the butterflies in our stomach. And then the racing heart in our heart area. So when you get to those places, if you feel tension in different places, give it a minute and scan that place and really breathe into it. If there is a chronic illness somewhere, scan whilst you take those deep breaths and send love and light and healing into those spaces. And as you breathe in and out, and as you send yourself some love, when you get to that place where it's holding most tension, whether it's your stomach, put your hand around your stomach and continue to just allow yourself that space and time to just send love. Are there issues with insulin and stuff? Begin to send healing through the breathing and release. And as you work your way up, spend as much time as you need in each space. And as you work your way up, for me, the chest area, the heart palpitation, that, blood pressure and all the different things that happen around the heart area, begin to send love. I have my hand right there. Breathing in and out. And as you breathe in, working your way up, what's going on around your neck area, the tension in your neck, begin to just turn your head clockwise and anti-clockwise gently. And as you engage with your body, we are coming up. Up the neck is the base of your brain, right? The amygdala is right there. I hold that space. And as I breathe in and out, I send love like you are safe. And one thing that happens is whether you touch yourself or somebody touches you, it gives you that grounding. As you breathe in and out, now we're going to focus on what's going on in your mind. What are the tabs open? You watch them like you watch the clouds. Breathe in and out, and as you release and relax, ease yourself into that place of bliss. And as you breathe in and out, and as you move in that space, and watch the tabs open in your mind whilst you are not engaging. Yes, they are there. Release and relax the breath work. And this is all you. Taking a moment for yourself. And as you take that moment and as you release and spend time in this wonderful real estate, that creative space, send love, compassion, and understanding. As you allow the breath to work its way out. If there is a particular thought that you feel like it's really highlighted through this space right now, begin to think about what you're thinking. That one thing. Just take that one thing. Maybe something that needs to be done. Maybe it's a creative piece is just coming up. Engage with it. As you breathe in and out. And as you breathe and as you release the tension that is attached to what you need to do and the fear or the self-doubt and all the different things, just hold the space for it. What needs to be done? Is that clarity that has to happen? And as you release, because the answer will come to you, switch to gratitude. That you are grateful that you even have this problem to solve. Grateful that you are here and now enjoying this session. Grateful that you can breathe. Center yourself. So whatever you're grateful for, begin to engage with that. From that place of gratitude, begin to quiet yourself, meaning you shift into the breath work, breathing in and out and releasing, because at this time you're getting quiet. Still in your mind again. Take a couple of deep breaths and release gently. As you still your mind, quiet down, release and relax. Allowing the breath to take over. Allowing the breath to anchor you. You're going to transition into savoring. What was the last thing that you created that was a hit? What did that feel like? So bring up the feeling. What that does to your body is going to flood you with, that happy chemicals, that invigorating peace. Where were you when you did that creation? What were the reviews? How did it feel like? And once you're in that space and enjoying and feeling the feelings attached to that success story, we're going to use that as a bridge. And here you're about to envision what your next project is, or what you brought to the table, or what has to happen next. And begin to envision what that looks like. So now you have a clean canvas. You came from something, a finished product, and what it felt like. And now you're transitioning into something you are working on, and the pieces that has to come together. So now begin to dream and begin to create in this space and envision what that looks like. Give yourself a minute or two. And for you, some of you, this is just a practice. You would need to do this before you fall asleep. You know why? So that when you are in that place of rest, what you started with this practice will happen in your unconscious mind. So in the next minute, envision what it is. What does it look like on that clean canvas? That project, what does it look like? And go as far as looking at the finished product. Don't get bogged down with the details. What does the finished product look like? Because in this creative space, once you see the picture, and I'm sure it has happened to you over and over again, you'll be able, the pieces will come together. And you do this still breathing in and out. Relaxing and releasing. And use the breath work to come back to reality. I'm going to pause the music. So this is the gist of the practice. Take a couple of deep breaths. So honestly, this is the full spectrum of stillness. And for you creatives, go there, create in the stillness, and watch how you will be able to, create in an exponential 10x, 100x, whatever it is. Be well.
Wow. That was really helpful. I love it. I was able to take it in. I was doing my own little following of what you were saying, and breathing in and breathing out, and just enjoying the music, letting the music take me. Also following your instructions and moving from my feet all the way up to the top of my head. So that's been great. I feel like, and I did close my eyes. I closed my eyes. I closed my eyes to take it all in, and I realized for me that allows me to shut everything else out, and center on just my thought and my body, right? And that was very, very, very helpful. So thank you, Rissi. Really appreciate it.
I'm glad it helps, and yeah, hopefully you would use it to unwind as many times as you can over the weekend, even when you're in the creative mode. So yeah, I'm grateful I was able to add value to a space that I'm growing in. Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes,
we
yes.
we made history. Year one, right? We always go back to the same
And,
point.
well, this is actually the second annual, so but we are making history because it is international, and this time
So
around it's all month long. Before, the first one was only 2 weeks, the
mm,
last 2 weeks in March, so this one is all month long. So I'm very grateful that you were able to come here today and give us some tips on self care. As I mentioned, it's very important in this space, and as you walk through, it's very enlightening to be able to gather more tips on how we can mentally prepare to navigate through this space the correct way, right? And be productive, creative, and just be a happy us. So
yeah,
I really appreciate that.
and have the emotional freedom to navigate, because yeah, as we navigate, we are interacting with others as well, and some people's energy will knock you off your rhythm. But this
Yeah.
is how you can come back and replenish and
Yes, yes,
what.
yes. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much for joining us. Love it, love it, love it. Now I can be like Rissi showed me some new ways to take care of my mental health. And I do appreciate it because as I mentioned earlier, I made sure to be productive today, but it's also nice to be able to come back to this and be able to find ways to recenter
Right.
and relax, right? Because
And
that's very important.
this will actually increase the productivity, because
Yeah,
remember the space we created where you can envision the thing that you are about to create and see the end product. Then you are telling the brain signals that, hey, I'm giving you the assignment. So then it takes less effort in the physical to bring it to pass.
yes,
So I
yes, yes.
want back as you practice to learn how it worked for you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, I'm gonna move you to the backstage now, and I'm gonna get ready to wrap it up. So thank you.
Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
having
Wow, that was fantastic. I know for me, it really helped me be able to center myself and bring clarity to a lot of the things that I'm doing and thinking about as well. Because I'm one of those individuals that think a mile a minute. And I'm always juggling so many different things at once. So being able to just push them aside and focus and be able to just get clarity. And, my smile got bigger. So I'm happy about that. So thank you very much, Rissi. That was another fantastic self care Sunday. It's very important for us to think about our mental health because it's our mental health that's really going to get us to consistently be involved in this space. Our mental health does also lead to how we feel physically as well. So I want to make sure that you guys get insights and tips into how to improve your mental health when you're navigating through this space. Because as I started in this space some many moons ago, I realize that it does not sleep. I realize that oftentimes we're finding ourselves up all night and running on maybe 1 hour or so of sleep because we feel like that, if we detach, we will miss out on so much. But I want to reassure you all that you're not missing out on that much if you just take the time to focus on you. And we've given you some tips. Today, we focus on breathing and stillness, and that's very much important. So, hopefully, you guys are able to get some insights, get some tips, and that you are going to apply them as you go and as you navigate through this space. I really want to thank you all for joining us for the International Women of Blockchain. We still got 11 more days to go. So, we will start back up again with Mind Your Money Monday, which is tomorrow with Nigel Roberts, focus on cryptocurrencies. On Tuesday is NF Tuesdays, which is all about our NFTs, non-fungible tokens. Wednesday is Worldwide Wednesdays, where we talk about Web3 and community. Thursday is Table Talk Thursdays, where we get to sit down with the pioneers and ask some good questions. And this Thursday, you don't want to miss it because we're focused on healthcare and medicine. So it's very much important that you guys tap in and get that different type of perspective of how the blockchain technology, as well as NFTs, are being applied in those two or in that industry. And then Friday, we're coming back with you to experience the metaverse. It's it's another futuristic Friday, and we're going to go through that metaverse experiences as well as get introduced to some of the ladies that are helping build that community. And Saturday will be Super Sponsor Saturday. This past Saturday, you guys were able to be introduced to one of our sponsors, Copper Seed Safe. Copper Seed Safe. And we also talk about Wallet 101, which was important, especially when you first start in this space. Because as you navigate through the space, you realize that, your wallet is your bank. It's where you hold and house a lot of your assets. And you want to make sure that you understand the different type of wallets, as well as, security is very important in this space. And that starts with the right and proper education. So hopefully yesterday was beneficial to you. But we shall see you tomorrow. I want you all to make sure you stay calm and relax and exercise stillness. Stillness is very important, as we learned today, and it's really important for us to embrace it. Embrace stillness because it leads to a lot of creativity. It gives us that energy that we need in order to move forward. So I encourage all of you to exercise stillness and join us tomorrow. Bye, everyone. We will start up tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you join us at that time. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one. Bye.